What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? I'm the Malt Activist, and in this video, I'm going to blind taste 5 different types of bourbons and tell you which one I like best. Let's go! Before we begin, I just want to give a big shout out to my first-time viewers. Thank you for clicking through to that thumbnail. If whiskey is your jam, then this channel is the one for you. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, one of the above, all of the above. I don't care. I'm so happy that you're here. And to my returning viewers, as I always say, thank you for keeping your standards so damn low. You guys are the wind beneath my wings. So in my last video, I got a little bit of shit for just yapping too much and just rambling on for no goddamn reason and saying the same thing 20 times over. I take your point, and at Malt Activist here, we listen. We listen to our people, we read the comments, and we deliver. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to break this video into 2 parts. The first part, more digestible, easily consumable, quick fire, let's get on with shit, part of the content. And then the second part, you know, just for my own personal satisfaction, sit and have a chit chat with you guys who are willing to kind of stay behind and hear me ramble on for no goddamn reason at all. So, having said that, without much further ado, let's get this party started. So for this video, I decided to pick up 5 bourbons from my bar and do a bit of blind tasting because, you know, we've been doing a lot of scotch stuff, and I thought, you know what, it's about time we give some airtime to the bourbons in my bar. So, starting with the Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare, 10-year-old, which I really like. I'm a big fan of this whiskey, and so it'd be nice to see how this stacks up against the other 4. Heaven Hill, Bottled and Bond. This one is a 7-year-old whiskey, and I got this, I think, within the last 1 year or so, and I've been steadily making my way through it, so it'd be nice to see, pitted against the Eagle Rare and the other 3, because I quite like this bourbon myself, by the way. The always tried and trusted Maker's Mark. Oh, this is a stellar one. I've been a big fan of Maker's Mark for a long time, so it will be interesting to see. Buffalo Trace, that's right, the OG Buffalo Trace. This, I think, I'm very curious how this is going to stack up with everything else. And a bit of a curveball, the Weller. This is a wheated bourbon, and while the others are not, this one is a wheated bourbon. So, frankly, I'm not good enough to tell the difference between, you know, straight bourbon and a wheated bourbon. When I say straight bourbon, I mean, you know, made primarily of corn, but it's because this is also a straight bourbon. I'm an idiot. But this is a wheated bourbon, which means more than 51% wheat in the mash bill. So again, will be quite interesting to see how this stacks up against the other 4. So this is whiskey number 1, and it's up on the screen now, along with a few details. And this has been handed to me by my trusty research team. And I don't know which one this is, only they know which one it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rate them, and then at the end of the video, we'll see which one I like better. Is that the best way to do this? I guess. I don't know. Who cares? It's content. There I go rambling again. Okay. Yep, smells like a good bourbon, smells like a nice bourbon. Yes. Toffee, leather, vanilla, candied fruits, some kind of honey, dark honey. Interestingly, some orange peel in here as well. And I get that oak right at the end. So yeah, you know, classic bourbon flavors, bourbon aromas. I like it. Not a bad mouthfeel. Just a touch bitter for me on the palate. Very true to its nose. I'm getting the same sort of toffee, cocoa, dark chocolate, and oak notes in here. I find something slightly off on this. I don't know if it's just me. It's not bad. I don't mind it terribly. I'm going to give this a 7.2. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 7.2. That's right. So whiskey number 1, 7.2. This is whiskey number 2 up on the screen now. Yeah, again, a very familiar, comforting smell of good bourbon. What do I get? Vanilla, just a hint of mint for some reason. Molasses, brown sugar. This one's a little spicier than the previous one, but it has the oak as well. And maybe a hint of dark fruit right at the end. Nothing bad. I like this nose as well. Very nice mouthfeel. Maybe as good as the previous one. Not bad. Big bold flavors. Again, true to the nose. I get very similar. The toffee, molasses, dark fruits on the palate as well. That hint of herbaceous green also. I'm gonna give this, but I think I prefer the whiskey before this slightly more. So because I gave that a 7.2, I'm going to give this a 7. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that I think I prefer the whiskey before this. So yes, 7 points for this whiskey. This is whiskey number 3. Very similar to whiskey number 2 in my opinion. That vanilla, that caramel, that oak, back to leather tobacco. This one has more roasted nuts, I feel, and a hint of spice. So it just, yeah, I'm having a hard time differentiating them, to be very honest. They're very, very, very similar, at least on the nose. So 2 and 3 for sure, very, very similar. Again, I like it. I really do. Better mouthfeel, much better mouthfeel. Bigger, bolder flavors. A little more balanced in my opinion. True to the nose. Very similar flavor profiles. But I feel a little more balanced. And I like the touch of spiciness on this. I like this one, man. I'm going to be generous and give this I'm going to give this an 8. 7.8, 8. Nah, 8. Why not? Let's be generous. I'm going to give this one an 8. I really like this. Whiskey number 4. This is a very different nose. Feels a little dusty to me. That sort of warehouse dustiness in there. Maybe it's the dust behind me. Could be that also. Who knows? But underneath that, I still get the vanilla. I get some sweet oak, if that's such a thing. Gentle baking spices. And some sort of lively, fresh, vibrant fruits I get in this. I can't put my finger on it. It just smells a bit fruity. It smells like sort of vibrant fruity. Very nice. Very, very nice. I think I picked some... And I'll tell you right at the end why I picked these, and because you don't want me to ramble. Definitely not as good on the mouth as the other 3. Quite a thin mouth on this one, which I'm not a big fan of. Even the flavors kind of muted on the palate. They were really, really nice on the nose, but kind of muted on the palate. So I'm going to give this one a 6.8. Yep, this one's in last position at the moment. Doesn't mean it's really, really bad. It just means in relation to the others, this one is a 6.8 if you ask me. So it is what it is. Very interesting to see what it is. Yeah? I'm actually quite curious. I'd be really happy if there were some upsets on the way. Yeah, definitely very thin on the palate. 6.8. I'm happy with 6.8. Finally, whiskey number 5. This one is more caramel, vanilla, honey, butterscotch. This one probably has a little more cinnamon. Again, baking spices, I guess. And then that unmistakable sort of oak in there, that nice layer of oak. This is an interesting note. This one is slightly spicier than the others, which kind of makes me think I know which one this is. Slightly spicier than the other one. Sort of medium mouthfeel. Again, the flavors true to the nose, but not as big on the palate as the other ones. I quite like this. I think I'm going to give this one a 7.2 as well. So it kind of, I think there's a tie in here somewhere. I forgot which one I rated. But my team sitting behind me, not behind me, behind you, sorry, is taking notes. So they know. So yes, I'm going to give this one a 7.2 as well. Interesting. Okay, I think it's time for the big reveal. Time for the reveal. So I've just been informed that whiskey number 1 was the Eagle Rare 10-year-old. Interesting. I thought I would pick this one as my winner, but I didn't. So this is at 7.2, which I think is fair. I think that's a fair rating. Doesn't mean it's a bad whiskey. I think it's an above average good whiskey. So Eagle Rare 10 at 7.2. We then have the OG Buffalo Trace, which was our second whiskey at 7.0, which is cool. I'm a big fan of the Buffalo Trace original. I really like this whiskey. So 7.0 for the Buffalo Trace. Whiskey number 3, which apparently is my favorite of the 5, and I'm kind of not surprised because I'm a big fan of the Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond 7-year-old. This one got 8 points, 8 big fat Malt activist points. Wow, interesting and expected. I think I thought it was going to be a tie between the Heaven Hill and the Eagle Rare, but no, I like this much better than the Eagle Rare 10. So yes, very interesting. I'm happy I picked this one as my favorite. And then whiskey number 4, Maker's Mark. I think my least favorite whiskey, which I gave 6.8 to, if I'm not mistaken, purely because of the mouthfeel. So I don't know how to react to that other than this is just an honest assessment. Though I am still a big fan of Maker's Mark. So yeah, interesting that I didn't like it so much. Maybe it was in relation to the other whiskeys, but yeah, 6.8 for the Maker's Mark, putting this right at the bottom of our barrel. But by no means is this a slight to Maker's Mark. Please, Maker's Mark, it's great whiskey. And last but not the least is this Weller, and I think I guessed the Weller because of the slightly increased spice or baking spice aromas and flavors that I got on this, because this one is a wheated bourbon, which means it has a higher concentration of wheat in its mash bill than the corn. So wow, that's pretty interesting. I thought I'd tie, but here are the results, man. So Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, my favorite, followed by William LaRue. No, what am I saying? William LaRue Weller. I meant the Eagle Rare 10, tied with the Weller Wheated Bourbon, followed by Buffalo Trace OG Straight Bourbon in 4th place, and then finally rounding off the bottom is the Maker's Mark. Interesting. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this sort of quick fire video that you guys have been asking for, where I don't ramble on so much. So for those of you with slightly less tolerance for my yippity yap, thank you and good luck, and I hope to see you guys again. For those of you who want to hang, I'm gonna have a little chat with you guys. So there you have it, man. An interesting result, honestly. I mean, this is crazy. I thought genuinely that I would like the Eagle Rare 10 better because I really like that whiskey a lot. But apparently I'm a fan of the Heaven Hill 7-year-old Bottled and Bond. I mean, who would have thunk? I would have thunk. And I love the story behind this, right? So I was at a trade show. I was at like a bar and spirits trade show where Heaven Hill was one of the exhibitors. And I rocked up and I'm like, hey man, what's up? I love bourbons. Can I try some of them? And that was the first time I tried the Heaven Hill. And the gentleman found out that I was a whiskey YouTuber, blogger, whatever. And he said, dude, take this whiskey. Let me know what you think about it. Taste it. I hope you like it. And he basically gave me a couple of bottles free. And I was like, yo, man, thanks, brother. I'm like, thanks, brother, appreciate it. And this one has, it's stayed with me. It's done well, and I really, really like drinking this whiskey. This is a good, honest bourbon, man. I love it. Wow. Yes, also, by the way, 3 of the 5 whiskeys were from Buffalo Trace, actually. And it wasn't by design, it just so happens that I had them on my shelf, and I was like, I need to do a blind tasting, with 5 bourbons. And I picked 5 bourbons, and I kind of tried to make sure that they were similar in ABV, right? So I think all of them are at 45% ABV, except for the Heaven Hill Bottled Bond, which is at 50% ABV or 100 proof. Which kind of now makes me think, do I like it more because it's slightly higher strength? Maybe? Oh, I honestly don't know, man. But I love the flavors on this. And if that is the case, then hey, I hope you're listening. Buffalo Trace, up the ABV, up the proof, man. Give us the Weller at 50%. Give us the Eagle Rare at 50%. Give us the the Buffalo Trace at 50%. What's wrong? Give us another 5%. Who cares? And the thing is, I've been a big fan of Eagle Rare for a really, really long time, especially the Eagle Rare 17, part of the BTAC, sitting right behind me, right? The Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, which I think is kind of overhyped, if I'm going to be honest right now. A bit overhyped, just unnecessarily. You can't find them. They're shitty prices and what have you, but it is what it is. But surprisingly, this 10-year-old, so the Eagle Rare 17, of course, is 17 years old. But this 10-year-old, there's such a massive price difference, in this one and the 17, and it shouldn't be this much. I think this one is about, actually, let me look. Yeah, so this one's about like, you can get it for anywhere between $60 to $80, $70 median. And the Eagle Rare 17, you just can't even get your hands on it, and it's unfortunate that on the secondary market it's just it's completely unattainable, and which is a sad thing, because I think that's a really, really good whiskey. Yeah, so interesting that the prices that I put up on the graphics, they're just median prices, because getting accurate pricing for whiskey in the US is tough because of such different state laws and state taxes and availability and all of those things. So I did a very cursory check. So if I'm off on the prices, just call me out, man. Call me out. But I was kind of hoping that the Weller would do well. I was hoping that the Weller, the wheated bourbon, would do better than I thought it would. I do like the nose on this. But it lacks the aplomb. Well, it lacks the aplomb on the palate for me, though this is a very, very good easy drinking dram. I like it. I really, really like this. I know, get some shortbread and very sort of biscuity, bakery biscuity. But yep, missing out on the palate for me, man. Missing out on the palate where I think the magic is supposed to happen. So, but I'm kind of okay. I'm kind of okay on the rankings that I've given, right? I genuinely think that the Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond is superior than the other 4, definitely. I didn't think the Maker's Mark would be last. I'm a big fan of Maker's Mark. I do drink a lot of it. I thought it would do slightly better than Buffalo Trace, if you ask me, but here's the thing, and again, you have to take all of this with a grain of salt, right? Because on a different day, when I wake up in a different mood and I've done something different that day, these whiskeys are all going to have a different ranking. They might have different marks that I give to them. It's a thing, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a thing, So these are today's rankings. You know what I'm saying? These are today's rankings. But yeah, so there you go, man. There you go. I'm a big fan of of bourbons. I'm a big fan of rye whiskey. Frankly, I think I prefer rye whiskey over straight bourbon. And so maybe that's my next video. I've got a few rye whiskeys lying around. I think I could, I could pull them out and then we could see what the fuss is all about, and that should be fun. And yeah, that's it, man. That's it. I'm kind of conscious about my rambling these days, so I'm not gonna ramble on too much, man. So yes, there you go. 5 whiskeys, 5 bourbons, blindfolded, kinda, figuratively. And there you have it. The results. The winner, the grand winner of the Malt Activist Bourbon Blind Tasting Challenge of the century is the Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond 7-year-old, bottled at 50% ABV. What a dram. What an absolute scorching whiskey. So, there you go, man. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of our chit chat that we did at the end. For those of you who prefer the quick fire stuff, I hope you liked the earlier part, and because we got to the point, man. We got to the point really, really quick. And yeah, there you go. I rambled on too much. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.